Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the June edition of the Humboldt Park Chicago Avenue Community Roundtable. My name is Ernest Bellamy. I am the program manager, or pardon, the project manager for the West Southwest Corridor here along Chicago Avenue, West Region City Planner for DPD. Thank you all so much for joining this afternoon for this month's Community Roundtable. Kind of getting into the agenda for today, we will have a general welcome of everyone on the call today, followed by some department updates via CDOT and Vision Zero, as well as a presentation on the summer safety strategy, and then some West Humboldt Park Development Council updates and some West Southwest Corridor RFP updates. So without further ado, again, hello, Ernest Bellamy here, live from City Hall. And I'd like to take time to welcome the newcomers to the line, as well as our community of active stakeholders who routinely come to our roundtables, as well as give a special shout out to Alderman Burnett and Emma Mitz's staff who may be on the line, as well as the aldermen themselves and any mayor's office staff that are on the line. So I'll pause if for any newcomers to say a quick hello, and welcome to the roundtable.
Hi, good morning. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Nikita McCoy. I don't know if I formally introduced myself at the last meeting, which was my first meeting. So I'm Nikita McCoy. I am with Holston Development Company. And so I'm on and want to get connected with everyone in the community, let them know I am just a recent transplant from POA. If you don't know POA is Preservation of Affordable Housing. So I'm now at Holston and happy to be here.
Welcome back, Nikita. Thanks for saying hello.
Indeed, thank you.
All right, well, without further ado, we will go into department updates. First up is the CDOT Vision Zero, and I'll hand it over to the team for their general hello and information.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Karishma Ali. I have a couple other folks with me, Kate Maitland and Shamika Turner is also on the call. So we are partnered with CDOT and working on the Vision Zero Chicago project, specifically on the Northwest side, covering the communities of Humboldt Park, Westtown, and Belmont Cragen. And we know that you all have been doing lots of great work on the Chicago Avenue corridor for the past year. And we've been hearing about lots of just really amazing things that are coming out of this work. So as we are starting our work, which is primarily a lot of it is going to be focused on Chicago Avenue, which has been identified by the Chicago Department of Transportation as a high crash corridor. We're really going to be looking at safety in the community and how that impacts lots of other things and be thinking about solutions from that perspective. But because we know that this group has been meeting consistently and will continue to meet consistently, and there's a lot of momentum already happening on this corridor, we wanted to make sure that we were integrating our work with the work that you all are already doing, and really just thinking of these corridors as places to build Humboldt community, with overlays of public safety and traffic safety, and thinking about placemaking and public health and economic development and kind of all of those things, and that are really interconnected. So Ernest has been kind enough to invite us to this roundtable, and we will probably be showing up regularly on these roundtables if you'll have us. We want to make sure that we're using this as a platform to engage you all, but not taking over kind of the work that you all are doing, since we know our work is a little bit broader. But there might be moments throughout our process when we might ask of all of you and invite specific people to engage with us a little bit further. So there's going to be lots of ways to engage with the work that we're doing. And we'll figure that out as the process starts, since we've just started this work. So we are happy to just kind of sit back and observe and kind of take in everything that's happening. But at some point, you'll probably hear more updates from us and invitations for input and just us working together. So thank you for having us here today. And Kate and Shamika are also on. So feel free to reach out to us and connect with us if anything comes up.
Thanks, Karishma. And contact info for Karishma, Kate, and Shamika are, as you see on the screen. And looking forward to, as they get going, them coming back to the roundtable and gaining great insights from the community as the Vision Zero progresses along Chicago Avenue. Next up, we have Norman Kerr with a summer safety strategy presentation. Norman, take it away.
Certainly. So thanks for having me, everyone, and Ernest, thanks for the invite. So I'm going to just mention a few things about what we're trying to do in the mayor's office around reducing violence. And I'll start with last year we kicked off a plan. This is our comprehensive plan to reduce violence in Chicago, and it's called the Our City, Our Safety Plan. It actually looks like this. There's a hard copy. There's also a link that I'll put in the chat. And it's about 100 pages of this plan that includes different strategies and initiatives, short-term and long-term initiatives, focused on 4 pillars. It's actually 5 pillars, sorry. So the pillars are empower and heal people, protect and secure places, improve and advance policing, affect public policy, and plan and coordinate. And these 5 pillars really drive all the work that we're trying to do. When I get to the summer safety strategy in a second, this is really something that came out of this plan. So we started this last year, like right before COVID, we did a kickoff, and then over the rest of the year, we had virtual meetings in 4 different subcommittees focused on the development of this plan. We did a reconvening in December, which we will do every 6 months. We have one scheduled for next week as well. And then we'll do one later in the year, but this is a check-in to see how we're doing. We're trying to get the plan funded. I mean, there's a lot of pieces in it. So, with some of the funding that's coming out of the federal government, this is something that we're targeting that can help to support this work. But I'll make sure I put a copy of the link in the chat so you guys can access the plan. And then if you would like to engage with the plan or participate in some way, feel free to contact me. So
Norman,
yeah.
Before you go on, I'm gonna stop the share so everyone can see full screen the document. If you want to show it up on your screen real quick again.
Yeah, so it's beautiful color, over 100 pages of just different quality pictures, but it goes through the strategies, it goes through short and long-term initiatives, just things that we should be addressing that will really have an impact on violence. So we have goals, indicators, et cetera. And I mean, it's a pretty good plan. I would say one of the things about it is that there's not too much specificity in it. It's still kind of broad, and those are things that'll get built out as we go. But it's definitely a start and a great foundation that we will have for years to come. So thanks for allowing me to talk about that, Ernest. So I'm going to get to the summer safety strategy, but I want to touch on a few other things that we're focused on. Definitely funding opportunities. And let me just say that the West Humboldt Park community has been a focus for us since I've been at the mayor's office for 2 years now, and since Lori Lightfoot has been in. But I've done a lot of like work in the past in street outreach in this area. And I see Alicia Ivy is on the beat facilitator for 11-12. So she's been really active, and we just recently did a walk a few weeks ago as well. So we just put out an RFP for street outreach and for capacity building. This is for like small organizations that would get funds to do some sort of violence prevention activities, but also they're going to get support around building their infrastructure as an organization. The street outreach partner that we have in West Humboldt Park currently is also, they're located at Chicago and Kedzie on the northeast corner next to the hot dog stand or whatever that is right there. We're also working on our 2022 budget, which would include some of these federal dollars that are coming. So we're trying to prioritize these for community-based initiatives. So if you guys have thoughts around that, feel free to contact me. And then we're also trying to connect with different city initiatives. So My Shine, My Future, Invest Southwest, and others, and really tie in reducing violence to these efforts. So with the summer safety strategy, we'll go to the next slide here. And this was something that came about out of, we have a public safety cabinet where all city departments come together. And we started really thinking about how can we get the whole city to be on board with reducing violence. I mean, we know that city departments have their areas of focus, whether it's streets and sands, whether it's BACP, parks, libraries, et cetera. Everybody has the thing that they're focused on. And how can we pivot everyone, not to abandon what they're doing, but also to focus on violence as well. So this was the strategy that we decided to employ with the objectives. And this is something that we read every meeting, like the pledge. It's like streamline internally and move forward with a strong all-city response to address community safety in each designated area, engage community partners to co-create approaches to address violence. So we have city services that are meeting. I mean, Ernest is on the calls, he knows, but we also have community partners that join the call as well, based on the areas that they're from, which I'll get into this in a second. We break down incidents at the beat level to analyze violence trends and to coordinate collective responses, identify any gaps and needs that are necessary to support this work, establish a weekly cadence for meetings. So we meet weekly for each zone. So that's 4 days a week, and sustain this work with high intensity throughout the summer. So we look at the next slide, it goes into the agenda. So this is general agenda, but we get more specific around like what's happening in each area. And the next slide lists the areas of focus. So some people see this and say, what about my area? What about my area? This is a data-driven approach. So what that means is we've looked at the most violent beats over the last 3 summers, summer 18, summer 19, summer 20. And this is what the data yields, that these 15 communities have been the most impacted, ranked in order from 1 to 15, as you see here on the list. So 1132, which has some of North Lawndale and West Garfield Park, has been the most active beat in the last 3 years, for the last 3 summers, right? Just summers. In 1112, West Humboldt Park, that's there. 1122 is there. 1121 is there as well. So these are areas that we're going to focus on. If we go to the next slide, it shows like the partners that are attending the meetings. So pretty much all city agencies. We have some community-based organizations as well. We have some aldermen who have been participating themselves. Some have been sending people, but some participate directly and are very involved in the conversations. And we're still open to more community partners to get involved. So it's not, we're not excluding anyone. but we're bringing all government to these conversations. Next slide. So we've broken down the 15 beats into 4 zones, right? So 2 on the west side, 2 on the south side. There's 9 beats on the west side and there's 6 on the south side. So that's broken down into the 4 zones, and I'm just gonna focus on zone 2 right now. So zone 2 is the area that West Humboldt Park is in. We meet on Wednesdays at 3:30. We look at 4 beats. 11:13, we know that's all West Garfield. 11:22 is a little bit of West Garfield, but 11:12 and 11:21 are certainly West Humboldt Park. So in each zone, we've identified, oh, look at all this fancy stuff, man. We've identified one main area that we're gonna start with. So this is the location that we've identified that, you know what, here's what we're gonna prioritize. And initially, when we identified areas in each beat, and we had like 5 or 6 hotspots in each beat. And it's just unmanageable to think that we could do activities all weekend long in all these areas. So we really wanted to drill down to be more effective. So we drill down in zone 2 to focus on Chicago Avenue and Ridgeway. So that's what we're looking at, Chicago Avenue and Ridgeway. And we're really going from Hamlin to Lawndale, right? So that whole strip we're gonna impact. I mean, if you go out there late on a weekend night, you're gonna see also with their lime green shirts walking the streets down there, and then CPD is doing what they're doing, but we wanna add extra attention. So Chicago Avenue and Ridgeway, the Park District has been doing some stuff there, bringing in other partners as well. We're gonna keep adding to this. And as we go throughout the summer, there's gonna be more and more activities that are gonna be taking place on Chicago Avenue to really, and it's not we're trying to get people off the corner, but we're just trying to occupy the space with positive activities. So some would call it positive loitering. So this is, the other numbers that you see here are areas that have been prioritized in 11-12 as other hotspot areas, but we decided we're going to focus on this sheet number 7, which is Chicago and Ridgeway. Next slide. And then this is just like a community breakdown. This is just some of the assets of the community, not everything, but you know, we wanted to identify the parks that were in the beat, you know, the aldermen, schools, et cetera, parks, the areas of concern, as I mentioned. Vacant lots is something that we want to identify as well. I know they're not all listed here. Gas stations, which have been in some cases an issue. So at the meetings that we have, I mean, BACP is there. They're talking about their strategy to pop in on these gas stations. This is something that they're doing over the weekends. Buildings is talking about, you know, supporting that, as well as, you know, checking in on different buildings. Law department is involved. Streets and Sands is doing different operations to clean the community. So it's bringing all the resources together to address what we're seeing. And the main driver around this is violence. So this is why we're like bringing this like all city response. Next slide. And then this is just some of the statistics that the Chicago Police Department will present at these meetings. And we do this for every beat in every zone. We go through, we look at what does it look like over the last few years? What does the last 14 days look like, the last 7 days? So we go specifically incident by incident. And I know today there was an incident last night in 11:22, I believe. So we're gonna be going over that, but just over the last week as well. And that may be the last slide I have, but maybe not. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of the summer safety strategy. I mean, it's something that it's really something that we're piloting. As I mentioned, over the next few weeks, we're trying to add a lot more activities, you know, so we want to add a variety of things that are going to be taking place on Chicago Avenue. And if you guys are interested in helping, we would love for you to help and support. But we want to see just different cultural things. We want to see music, stepper sets. We want to see cooking demonstrations, just things that are going to occupy the space and also provide relief for some people, exposure, but most of all, safety. So I'll make sure I put my information in the chat. If you guys are interested in getting on board or contacting me, feel free to do so.
Thanks so much, Norman. And again, if you could also dump in the chat that link to the pamphlet you had earlier,
Yes.
that would be great. And a lot of folks have already sent me a one-to-one message of eager to see that and be engaged further with the summer safety strategy initiative.
That's great.
Thanks, Norman. All right, so moving on, we have some updates from West Humboldt Park Development Council. I see Nefertari is on the line, and I believe she may be walking us through a little bit of some info we brought to last week's roundtable, but we have visuals today to accompany them. Nefertari?
Sorry, forgot to unmute myself. Good afternoon. So we're very excited to be a part of the collaboration with the Art Institute, who came to us earlier this year to engage in the Obama project, which is going to be a 5-city tour, and Chicago is the first stop. And the idea that the Art Institute had was to engage the African American community on the South and West side. And they approached various partner or agencies, and we were one, and we graciously said yes. And we identified as our final site the wall at the store on Chicago. What is that?
Rainbow.
Rainbow, yes, thank you. I had a brain freeze, sorry. So we identified the wall at Rainbow, and they have the mural of the Chicago's first family that's on display right now. And yesterday, the crew came through and put up banners which reflect both Michelle and President Barack. So you'll see those banners on the poles. There's 6 to 8 banners on the poles. If you're on the west end, beginning at Pulaski and Chicago Avenue to Springfield. Then you'll see them on the east end from Kedzie, actually from Troy up to Sawyer. And the idea behind that was the mural was there, and so the portrait would be on the east and the west side. And in the middle, later on, we're going to have artwork that has been done by students at Polaris and Roe Clark, which would hang in the middle. It's going to replace our current logo banners. So we thought that would be an awesome display for our community, and we're very happy to be a part of that, part of that opportunity. So I think that was it, Ernest, the artwork and the Obama portrait, and then the upcoming designated pose with our students' artwork. It's not available yet, but it should be up early next month. We'll have that, and we'll let the communities know by way of our community network meetings when that's going to be on display. Yeah, that's all I have.
That's great. Thanks, Nefertari. And I have an additional slide for everyone just to see when the portraits are at the Art Institute. It started last Friday, and it runs for a while at the Art Institute. I know I had a chance to check it out this past weekend. They're both beautiful, and it's always great to head to the Art Institute and be inspired by all the great artwork that's in the museum. So up next is some corridor RFP updates. As you all know, the RFP has been released. It was released back on April 23rd. Responses are due on August 31st. And as of yesterday, there have been 60 individuals who have downloaded the RFP. There's been roughly 69 different downloads. I looked through the data and noticed it was really 60 unique downloads of individuals who have downloaded the RFP from a broad spectrum, from developers, construction companies, nonprofits, architects and engineers, as well as interested community members and a few teachers. So the RFP is getting some good responses thus far of individuals who are downloading it, taking a look at it from the website. With that, I wanted to mention that these roundtables that are being recorded and the PowerPoints are available for public access. First, with the videos, they are available on the department's YouTube page. Quickly, or like short code wise, it's what you see on the screen, youtube.com/Chicago DPD. There you'll find the community roundtables, as well as when we had visioning sessions, those, as well as other different meetings that have happened virtually in the space of the past year. In addition, our roundtable videos are available on the DPD website, roundtable videos, as well as the PDF version of the PowerPoint presentations. You could go to the city's website at chicago.gov and Invest Southwest to navigate towards the Humboldt Park Chicago Avenue link, and from there is a link to get to this page that you're seeing a short snippet of, where you're able to access the videos and PDFs. But equally, to those who show up here, I'll always send out a copy of both a few days to a week or two after our roundtable, so that you have a personalized copy right to your inbox that you can access as well. So that's pretty much it for today. Unless there's any questions, I do have some dates of some things coming down the pipeline. NOF announcements for those who have submitted an NOF application in the last round. Announcements will be made in early July as to the winners of the last round of NOF, as well as our next community roundtable will be July 28th at 12 noon. So I'll take a quick pause. If there's any questions, feel free to ask them on anything that's been presented here today.
Ernest, this is Nefertari. I forgot to mention that as a result of our corridor being of our corridor partnering with the Art Institute on
Right.
the Obama
Nefertari, I'm
portrait.
not sure if you're chatting or not. It seems like you're muted, but I just want to make sure if you did have a question that you are heard.
Okay, I wanted to add that West Humboldt Park is also taking out, we're doing a media ad to the announcement reflecting the Chicago corridor being a part of the Obama portrait event, so that
Sorry,
all of
Nefertari,
the,
I'm still not hearing you.
Yeah,
oh,
I can hear her, Ernest.
Okay.
She's loud and clear to me. I don't know if you
All right.
Here.
I believe it's a microphone issue on my side. My apologies. I will switch off my headset. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
I'm the one usually having the issue. So I forgot to add that we were to, so that all of our community residents and other organizations and partners know, we're taking out an ad. We're going to do a full page ad in the community paper. I believe it's called The Voice, reflecting our participation in the whole project on this, the Obama project, on the Obama portrait project, because not all communities are involved, and we think it's a unique opportunity for us. And so we wanted to highlight that as well.
Yeah, and so yeah, Ernest can't hear Nefertari. Can you ask the question
Oh.
again? Maybe I can address it. Ask the question one more time. I'm sorry.
So it wasn't a question, it was more of a statement.
An announcement. Okay.
An
Yeah.
announcement, yes, it
Mhm.
was an announcement, Jim. I forgot to add when I was speaking, the other part of the other activity of the Obama project
Mhm.
is the fact that we're going to do a media spread announcing that, because it's a unique opportunity for
Mhm.
us. And so we get the word out to the community, our other partners and other organizations. So it's just another vehicle for highlighting what's going on the corridor.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and you know, it certainly will be helpful for us if you can shoot us a quick email, just highlighting that, and any
Yeah.
dates you want us to be aware of. That would be helpful
Okay.
as well.
Yes. Okay. That was it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Nefertari, and apologies for the technical difficulties, but it's always good to have a backup pair of headphones in case there's any issues, especially even if turning off the headphones and the computer speakers don't work. But I'm glad we were able to get that in.
Yeah.
If there's any other additional comments, feel free to make them. Anyone?
Hey, Ernest, this is Derek Ellis. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I just would like to say it's great that attention focused on longtime resident. We actually did Juneteenth over the weekend, and it was a great success. We had vendors, and we had our men cook two-piece. It was great. So it's great to see opportunity happening in our area. I'm excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Derek, for sharing that sentiment. I really wish I could have been out there, that I was at another Juneteenth event, but I'm glad to hear it went well. All right. Well, thank you all for joining for this month's roundtable. We look forward to seeing you next month on the 28th. And in between, feel free to send any email responses to Adrian, Nefertari, and myself in the interim for any announcements, general announcements, or any questions to what you've seen here today. Until then, take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day and rest of June.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernest.